My passion for learning started in Guatemala when I was development community director in one of the government departments. I saw these people that needed so much information in order to make decisions, to grow, and to be successful in life. So I started learning how to communicate with people. And all of a sudden, we have the impression that we have to dedicate our lives to the Lord. It was important for me to establish Spanish churches because many of the people that come here from other countries speak Spanish, and they don't know anything about English. They suffer a lot being here. So they have to be in a place where they feel like God is helping them. We've been in 6 churches here in the States. So we have to adapt ourselves in order to make sure that the congregation is learning, and they like to come to these services because they are going to listen something that they need. So we have to study every congregation and to find out exactly what they need in order to grow up and to get closer to the Lord in their spiritual life. When I retire, I'm supposed to go home and start having a good time. But really, I cannot sit down and watch TV and knowing that I have to go out and someone need it. As a pastor, I am a teacher, but it's important for me all the time be learning more. To me, lifelong learning means we like to teach others, and we have the joy to teach others because it's like planting seeds in them. And they are going to use these things, maybe not now, but in the future they will remember, and then some fruit is going to come out of their teaching.
I think I've always had a passion for learning. I don't consider myself geriatric or old. I consider myself greatly empowered by having been aware of my current paraplegic situation. And that empowerment, I think, makes me feel young and active and ready for a new profession. 20 years ago, I had a hiatus in employment. And so I learned 2 languages, very elementary programming languages from long ago, but I knew that there was more, and I knew that there'd been vast advances since I studied those 2 rather primitive languages. Being paraplegic, I've learned to use computers very well, and that intrigued me. I read about the Cornell program online. Paralyzed Veterans of America helped me with that, and I enrolled. I've taken 5 courses so far. I will take 10 more, and I will be ready to do very high-level programming if I can pass all those courses. If you think age gets in the way of learning, it does not. And the advice that I would give to people my age is that you should examine your world, see what you think you might do to change it, and see what you might learn in order to do that. After college and the Marine Corps, I entered law school, and my profession for most of my adult life was the practice of law. Once I had practiced for a couple of years, I realized that I was able to help little people. Late in my life, retired from law, but still licensed, I'm able to help people in the building with legal problems they have. And this is a building mostly of very low-income people, and they have the same problems that all of my clients always have had. I've been able to help them, and it makes me feel good. Lifelong learning to me means several things. First of all, it means that I was able to become productive immediately as a person 80 years old. Secondly, it means to me that I'm learning things that kids in college are having trouble learning. And finally, it means that there is a road ahead for me, and my age is no impediment to that road ahead at all.
My passion for lifelong learning began very young. I came from a family that really talked about issues and cared about things. My father was very active in the community, and at a young age, I was very interested in learning and knowing more and more. I first realized I wanted to become a teacher, amazingly, on my first day of substitute teaching. Right away, these children responded asking questions, and I went, yes, let's do it together. And I got hooked. When I retired, I realized I had to keep teaching. And so I chose to teach adult learners because it is really important that we continue to learn throughout our lives. It keeps you young. Having fun is so essential to learning. My class is called Fun with Spanish, Fun with French, and I do believe learning is fun. Part of my journey of lifelong learning is becoming an advocate. This year I spoke at the Massachusetts Legislation Action Day. It was a day for advocacy for housing and women. Being a teacher, you're always a student too, because I was like, okay, this is new. I want to check this out. I want to see what I can learn. And I also loved hearing the other speakers. It was a great experience, and I'd like to do more. Lifelong learning to me means meeting people, getting out there, not sitting alone in my apartment. And I'm so glad to have had that opportunity. Every day is an adventure. When you step out the door, when you go to school or to a playground, you meet people, and there is your adventure.
My passion for lifelong learning began observing my mother. She was a librarian. I grew up with a love for books and a love for learning, and my dedication to learning has really fueled giving back to the community in many ways. My engineering background, my management and leadership background, and my finance background through my MBA degree are very vital in the nonprofit world. Service has always been extremely important to me, whether it was serving my country, serving my community, or serving locally as a volunteer. I got involved in a veterans organization called the DAV, and that made me realize how many veterans have issues that are much worse than anything I've experienced, and that they need assistance, they need help, and some of them don't have a lot of financial resources. So I said this is a place where I could make a difference. I've also been involved with the Berwick Alliance charities because they support many important causes that I'm very interested in. When I finished my time as the Berwick Alliance Club president, I wanted to keep my efforts ongoing, and I saw a need for incorporating a nonprofit. We have access to more funding and then get more support for all the efforts of the Lions Club. Another volunteer organization that I'm proud of having been involved with is the American Heart Association, and we raised over $250,000 a year back around 1980, and this event was incorporated into what's now called the American Heart Walk, so it's still active throughout the country. Lifelong learning has helped me to contribute to my community in so many important ways, and to be able to do that is very rewarding. People ask me if I'm retired, and I don't like to use that word. I realized that I want to maintain my involvement. Basically, I try to stay busy, I think at the same level I had when I worked at a paid job. I'm just doing different things and I'm not getting paid for it. Well, I'm getting paid in different ways, just not financially, but it's just as rewarding and just as important in the community.
Mi pasión empezó cuando yo estaba joven, vivía en una casa donde mi familia dejaba de comer para darle de comer a las personas que pasaban por la casa, y yo veía cómo mi mamá ayudaba a las personas y fui creciendo con ese amor a ayudar a las personas. Cuando llegué aquí me encontré sola, solamente con mi esposo y mi hija, no tenía familia, no tenía amigos, no tenía nadie. Yo llevo involucrada en la organización de Lawrence Community Work alrededor más de 20 años. Como miembro de la directiva de Lawrence Community Work, yo abogo por los miembros de la directiva y también por las necesidades de mi comunidad. Lo que yo hago es tratar de ir a la calle y hablarle a la gente qué es Lawrence Community Work, qué está haciendo Lawrence Community Work, dónde queda Lawrence Community Work, cuáles son los beneficios que Lawrence Community Work tiene para la comunidad. Y le invito a que se integren como voluntarios y que vengan aquí a buscar una aplicación, a hablar y a preguntar por todos los programas que tiene Lawrence Community Work. Yo como inmigrante me siento bien hablándole a las personas que vienen, dándole un poco de mi ejemplo, dándole ejemplo de cómo fue mi vida, de cómo es mi vida en los Estados Unidos. Y trato de darle un poco de conocimiento para que ellos no quieran después, quererse ir cuando vean la realidad. Yo recibí el certificado de asociado en Social Service y me inspiró tanto Lawrence Community Work como mi familia, mis nietas, porque para que mañana no me digan, yo no quiero estudiar, porque si ellos me ven a mí que a la edad que yo tengo, yo pude, ellas también pueden. Para mí significa aprendizaje, aprender, porque mientras más tú vives, más aprendes y más fuerte es. Mirando mi larga vida, me gustaría que mi generación, mis nietas, mi comunidad y todas las personas que estén alrededor mío tengan como ejemplo mi fortaleza.